Hi, I'm Josh Brister, founder of American Patriot Coffee and the American Patriot Nation. Thank you for visiting our new online store. I'm sure you will enjoy any of our coffees and teas, and be sure to browse our Patriot gear and arm yourself with provocative and truthful statements of American exceptionalism. 3 years ago, I was like many of you. I had my nose to the grindstone, working very hard growing a business with my wife, for our family, and the future of our children, and not paying much attention to what was going on in Washington, D.C., much less in our local governments. Big mistake. I, like many Americans, just assumed that we were being represented fairly in government. Then we find out that the federal government is bailing out banks and covering up fraud in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and forcing banks to make loans to folks who should never have been approved. I don't know about you, but this boiled my blood. Then we had an election of a man that said he wanted to fundamentally transform our country. And my question was, into what? Well, the majority of Americans ignored the signs, and he is set forth to doing exactly what he said he would do. With unprecedented grandiosity, this new president, in the first 2 years of office, spent more of your hard-earned money in the name of redistribution of wealth than all presidents combined since the creation of our great nation. And this year, with the help of progressive big government Republicans, forced another debt ceiling raise from $14 trillion to $16.5 trillion, ensuring that heads will roll in 2012 on both sides. Obamacare rammed down our throats, 70,000 regulations choking job creators, causing massive layoffs and unemployment. A tax code that is ever expanding, cutting off our oil and natural resources that could make us energy independent for the next 10 generations. Instead of defending our borders, as the Constitution mandates is the responsibility of the federal government, this president allows invasions of illegals from all directions while attacking the American people with lawsuits and his activist judges, wasting, or as he puts it, investing in a failed utopian dream of wind, solar, and so-called green companies that without government subsidies could never survive the free market. He has wasted billions as all of those so-called investments fail and go bankrupt. He has given billions to Brazil and said that we will be their best customer for oil, while at the same time placing unconstitutional moratoriums on our oil companies. And when a judge orders the moratorium overturned, Obama gives the order not to issue permits, thus forcing the layoffs of thousands in the Gulf region and all over the country, with more to come. Barack Hussein Obama is not the sole reason for these things happening. He is the outcome of 110 years of progressive, liberal, socialist infiltrating our culture, our governments, and our education system. Norman Thomas, the leader of the American Socialist Party, who ran 3 times for president and failed, said, quote, "The American people will never knowingly adopt socialism, but under the name of liberalism and progressivism, they will adopt every fragment of the socialist program until one day America will be a socialist nation without ever knowing what had happened." This has been the plan all along. It is time, as individual Americans, we stand up to the soft tyranny, the spoon-fed socialism, the fundamental transformation these big government progressives from both sides, Democrat and Republican, have pushed on the great experiment we call America. So with a lot of prayer, some loving words of encouragement from my wife, I have set forth on a mission to do my small part in restoring virtue and the American way in our country and our culture. One town, one city, and state at a time, we will carry the message of the American way and message of restoring honesty, integrity, hard work, to stand on your own 2 feet, take responsibility for your own actions, to lift up those who succeed on their own merits, and to live by the principles of individual freedom. We will spread the message that government is not the answer, but our own power, backed by the power of divine providence, the power of the individual American, and the desire to succeed is all that we need to write our story in the history of this great nation. We all, at one time or another, have said, "What can I do? I'm but one man, one woman, one child. What can I do?" Well, I am putting my money where my mouth is and creating this company to carry the message of the American way and the founding principles back to the American people. One person, one conversation, one radio show, one cup of coffee at a time. We have allowed these elites to enjoy unbridled freedom in creating a rogue government that is so dominating in our lives that it thought it could never be defeated. And its sole purpose is to strip you and I of our God-given rights. Well, these elites are wrong, and American Patriot Coffee will stand against these invaders, these progressive, socialist, Marxist, government-loving hippies and utopian dreamers. Some ask, how will you do this? Well, a large portion of every purchase you make will go to help fight the tyranny known as progressivism in America. We will work diligently to grow, educate the American people about civics, what is really in the Constitution, what does America really mean. We will support our troops and help send people to all levels of government with conviction, virtue, and moral character that will defend our freedom and pledge loyalty to the letter of the Constitution. I'd like to thank you for visiting our store, and I would urge you to visit the American Patriot Nation. Join the resistance of tyranny and anti-Americanism. It is alive and well today in our country. I hope that we all can take this pledge to our country, our children, and our future. We pledge our lives, our wealth, and our sacred honor to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. We pledge our lives and love for our lives that we will never live for the sake of another man, nor ask another man to live for ours. We know that America's only salvation is through individual freedom and action, and that one man can change the world if he doesn't care who gets credit. Please browse our store. We have a great selection of coffees and teas and Patriot gear. God bless you and your family, and may God bless the United States of America.